would also like to extend a very warm welcome to everyone that I know and everyone that I don't. And hope you're enjoying yourself, as David has already said. Can you hear me? Is it okay?
Yes, Derek.
I'd also like to say hello and welcome to all of Andrew and Eileen's friends from church. And a big thank you to Guy for a very, very nice service. Where are you? Very well delivered, very professional. I think I should clarify that I am indeed Eileen's son, but I'm very happy to be acting as father. I'm standing here in the role of father of the bride. I hope I did you proud. I hope I did a good job. It was actually quite a choky moment when I was going down the aisle. I saw my missus going and my daughter was going, and there was a few hankies out, and I nearly went myself. And my mum said to me as we were going down, "God, Derek, what am I doing?" Derek, what am I doing? Of course, it is customary, excuse my notes, I've been really deliberating quite hard over this. This has been written, torn up, written and rewritten. I've had lots of warnings from a certain someone not to crack any jokes.
Oh, come on.
And it's tradition, Jean, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, yes.
So the custom is the father to talk about his daughter and rifle off some funny incidents from her younger years, and perhaps to throw in some wedding-themed jokes. Now, I do have a little bit of background for you about my mother's life, but I've decided not to tell any jokes. You know the sort of jokes I mean. Like the Churchill one about the wedding night. It's going to be long, it's going to be hard, and there'll be no withdrawal. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to do any jokes about fornication. You know that one, for an occasion such as this. I'm not doing that one either. But I am going to do my... No, I'm not even going to do my favourite joke about BP and the traffic lights.
Caroline.
No one's going to get that. That was something that happened in the car last night.
Okay, let's hear it.
It's not really... It's not funny.
Yes, it is.
You had to have been
You
there.
had to be there.
It's not a joke, but I just threw that in there. And then there's the joke about Great Uncle Percy. You all know the joke about Great Uncle Percy, who can't be here because he's 111. Let's have a round of applause for Uncle Percy.
Who's that?
And then the applause dies down politely, and I say, "Oh, it's not 111, he's ill." I'm not going to do that one either, because it's been done 1,000 times. But what I will tell you is that the last time I was a best man at a wedding, I did do that joke, and I said, "I've got a telegram here from Uncle Percy, who's 105. Whereupon I heard a voice from the band say, "Get out of that." I was completely stuffed. Anyway, that's it, Katrina, I promise you. Moving on. We have got many guests who've travelled many miles, and I think it only fair to extend the thanks for the fact that they have done so, particularly to Larry and Leanne, who have come all the way from Johannesburg. I think they qualify for the longest travel, 11 hours on a plane. And sitting with your wife, that takes some doing. My Auntie Jean and Cousin Betty.
That would be me.
Auntie Jean. Jean, who's come from somewhere around Alberta. I'm not quite sure. She's the quiet one of the family.
Yeah.
And Cousin Betty, who I think lives in New Jersey. Is that right? New Jersey.
They made the joke about Willie.
Oh, yes.
I'm not going to do that again.
No.
I'd like to say hello and thanks for coming to Arlington Calling. They've come from Toronto, or very near, to Wembley, Pat, and their two lovely daughters, Charlotte and Natalie, who've also come from Toronto. That's abroad, in case anyone doesn't know.
That's the East Coast.
I'd like to say thanks to Mike and Pauline from Worcester. It's not quite so well travelled, but you did travel after all. And I know that many people have come come up with lots of excuses why not to be here. There's my brother Malcolm, sitting over there, my older brother. Now, he should have been here, and I'll just say, it's great to see you here. Really delighted that you made the journey. He's been very, very ill, and because of that, I stood in like you would for your brother. And I did try to persuade him to come and take my place, because I don't really like these speeches. But anyway, it's great to see Malcolm and Caroline and his three beautiful daughters. Michelle, sit down at the end. Okay. We've also got my two lovely sisters. I've got two new sisters, Bonnie and Rebecca. Bonnie and Rebecca. From Chesterfield and Hatfield. You haven't travelled very far. You could probably walk home. You're the only one who can get completely... Okay, well that's all of you. I think that's enough. Anyway, anyone I've missed, I really apologise for that, but you're all very welcome, and thanks for coming for the distance you did travel. For 22 years of my life, I was one of 4 children, and then my sister Annabelle came along, and then we were 5. Now I've got Bonnie and Rebecca, and I've got 2 new sisters, and they've got 5 new siblings to get used to, Mummy and Daddy. I'm going to enjoy that. A big thank you to the bridesmaids, Wendy, my sister, Bonnie and Annabelle, Becky and my daughter Natasha. You've all done a great job. You all of you are well. Now I know that this person isn't here, but I think the flowers have to be mentioned. They're absolutely gorgeous. They were done by a girl called Kerry Barker. Not Barker, Barker. Well, I've always known her as Barker. And I'll tell you why, because she used to work for me. She was a hairdresser who worked for me. And she gave it up to do flowers, and I think it was a damn good career move, from what I can see. They're really smashing it. So I know you're not here for very good reasons. I'd like to say a big thank you to Chris for the photography, wherever he is.
Where'd it go?
Chris over there, keeping a low profile. A little story about Chris. I do know Chris from a long time ago, and his wife was a customer of my shop when I had it. And his father, his name is genuinely Michael Douglas. Now, I know Chris has heard lots of stories like this, but this genuinely did happen in my shop. I had a client in my shop who was extremely posh, thought she was posher, she had lots of money, and she was quite well connected, but not as well connected as me. When I was doing her hair, and one of my staff came over and said, "There's a phone call for you from Michael Douglas." And I said, "Excuse me." And I went over to the phone. I knew exactly what she was thinking, and I spoke to Michael. And what he was talking about was, I played a band, and he was doing photography at a wedding, and we were discussing sharing a car together. Anyway, that was the simple part of the story. But I came back and spoke to my client. She was completely. Is that really Michael Douglas? And I said, yeah, of course it was really Michael Douglas, because it was. Where's he phoning from? And I said, well, believe it or not, he's in town. He's staying here in Harpenden, and we're meeting up later. She couldn't believe it. It completely made my life as a hairdresser. This woman was a pain in the ass. On the subject of hair, I was very saddened to hear about the death of V-Delsassoon. It was quite sad. He was an old man, he got to 84. But I heard that they were going to show his funeral on the TV live today, and we're here. Never mind, the highlights are on later. Think about it.
The highlights.
You have to explain everything to my mother. But there is a gap in the market, and you can now call me V-Delsassoon. That's me.
V-Del.
Moving swiftly, I'd like to give you a little background to Eileen, my daughter. What am I? What are you today? I'm the father of the bride at the moment, so you're my daughter, right? That's fine. I'm getting very confused. Now, some of you, maybe all of you, know that my mother was in show business for the best part of her adult life. She had 4 children and then discovered she could sing. It made life a bit awkward. But she was very good at it, and she started out doing Scottish traditional music, as you heard in the church. For those of you who don't know, the New Banks and Braids and all that was Mummy Dear. from a very old LP. She then switched to modern singing, modern at the time, and did a lot of television work, worked with many stars. She has had a very interesting life. She's also doing anything to get on TV. She is the inventor of an everyday object. How many of you knew that my mother had invented an everyday object? Come on, show of hands. Not many of you know this, do you? I bet she hasn't said this in church. When you find out what she invented, you will know. It's a fairly everyday item that people use when they've had babies. Is that right, Mother? They have their babies first. She invented a portable baby changer. So she couldn't get on telly as a singer, so she thought, I know what I'll do. I'll invent something and I'll put me on the news. She travelled all over the UK. She was on all the major news channels. It was quite a nice thing to have done, wasn't it? But she invented it because she was a little bit older, shall we say, than she had Annabelle. And she couldn't get on her hands and knees and do the nappy change. So she used to change her nappy. Annabelle, you won't forgive me for this. Oh, the ironing boards. Of course, the ironing board doesn't have any sides. And if the phone rang, Mum was sort of baby on the ironing board. So she thought, bingo, my ironing board needs some sides to it to stop the baby rolling off. And that's what she did. So, congratulations, Mother. I think you deserve a round of applause. And of course, you did fall off a few times.
That's the reason.
That's what caused all the damage, isn't it? Finally, you'll be pleased to know, we are here. It's been an eventful journey for us all to get here. I think that has already been alluded to. We've all gone in different paths in life. You come to a fork in the road, you take that one, and you all seem to end up in the same place, don't you? Which is great. We're all here together. It's fantastic. I'm really enjoying that. This is the first time that my mother has ever had all 5 of her children in one place, which is, I know that's made her very happy. And the rest of us too, we enjoy it. Not only did you get 5 in the one place today, you got 7. So we're really chuffed about that. A little bit about Andrew. I'm not going to tell you much about Andrew because I don't actually know very much. We don't know if he's got any money.
Not now.
One last thing, Andrew. This is everything I like to say about Andrew. I want to thank you personally, from the bottom of my heart, for choosing the men's outfits. Look at me when I'm talking to you, Dad.
Look at me when I'm talking.
From the bottom of my heart, let me shake your hand. Because if you'd left it my mother, we would have been in sweaters with reindeer all over. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please be upstanding and raise your glasses to Andrew and Eileen, Mummy and Daddy.
Andrew and Eileen.